Good morning, all. Last lecture, we have started the new chapter, and that is bacteria. In the last lecture, we were discussing about the general characteristic features of the bacteria. Okay, we have discussed the different general characters of the bacteria. Bacteria, it is mm, prokaryotic, it is microscopic, least differentiated living organisms, and these are believed to be the among the first primitive organisms on the earth. Okay, we have discussed the different general characters of the bacteria. There are large number of the bacteria which are reported, which are discovered up till now. They show the considerable variation in their characteristic features. Okay, but some of the common characters of the bacteria, these are having the certain common characters, and we have discussed in detail regarding these common characteristic features in the last lecture. Okay, the bacteria, these are omnipresent, these are cosmopolitan distribution, and these are present in each and every habitat which one can think. Okay, we have discussed in detail regarding all the common characters of the bacteria in the last lecture. Okay, now we are going to discuss in this lecture regarding the classification based on the shape. Okay, classification based on the shape. The bacterial cells shows the considerable variation in their shape, but all the individuals of a species have the approximately same shape. Okay, there are large number of the bacteria, and these bacteria show the considerable variation in their shape, but the bacteria which are belonging to the same species, or which are belonging to the one species, these are having approximately same shape, and that's why the shape of the bacteria, it is considered as the one of the important character for classification. Okay, there as the bacteria belonging to the same species, these are approximately of the same shape. The shape of the bacteria is considered as the important character, the identification of bacteria. Okay, of these, the major morphological groups are here. I have mentioned three cell forms, that is, these are common to the bacteria, or the depending upon the shape, the bacteria, these are placed morphological forms. The first one is the bacilli. Bacilli, simply in the photograph, you can see these bacilli bacteria. These are rod-shaped bacteria. Okay. The second morphological group is the cocci bacteria. Cocci bacteria. Here in this photograph, you can clearly see these are the spherical shaped bacteria. And the third one is the helical bacteria, or we can see these are the spiral bacteria, as it is referring to their shape. Okay, the three most common morphological forms of the bacteria are bacilli, which is also referred as the rod shaped bacteria. Then second one, cocci, these are also referred as the spherical bacteria. And the third one is the spiral, or the these are also referred as the helical bacteria. Okay, then here you can see the first morphological group, bacillus, or the rod shaped bacteria. Bacillus, or the rod shaped bacteria, and probably it is the most common form of the bacteria. Okay, most of the bacteria, these are rod shaped, that's why the bacillus or the rod shaped, it is probably the most common form of the bacteria. Okay, bacteria in the photograph, you can see these are rod shaped or cylindrical. These are rod shaped, cylindrical, these are elongate. Then another important character, they may be motile or the non-motile. Motile, non-motile, in some of the bacillus or rod shaped bacteria, there is a presence of the flagella. Okay, with the help of the flagella, they can move from one place to the another place. But there are certain rod shaped bacteria which are devoid of flagella, that non-motile, they cannot move themselves. Okay, the these morphological form, the bacteria, these are shaped, they may be cylindrical, they may be elongated, then they may be motile or they may be non-motile. These bacteria, these are having the rounded or the blunt ends. Okay, these bacteria, these are having the rounded or the blunt ends. Then the average bacillus, average bacteria, it is about 1.5 micrometer in length. Okay, the average bacillus or the average rod shaped bacteria, it is 1.5 micrometer in length and 0.5 micrometer in diameter. Okay, some of the bacilli, some of the bacillus or the rod shaped bacteria, these are so small that they cannot be identified cannot be distinguished from the cocci or the spherical shaped bacteria, and that's why these type of the bacteria, these are referred as the coccobacillus. Okay, there are certain bacillus or the rod shaped bacteria which are very small and they cannot be distinguished, cannot be differentiated from the spherical bacteria or the cocci bacteria, and therefore these are said to be the coccobacillus. Okay, here you can the bacilli or the rod shaped bacteria. Okay, the rod shaped bacteria. Okay, here these may be present singly. Here you can see the single rod shaped the bacillus bacteria, and in this one you can see the different forms, they can be present in the groups. Here when the two bacilli or the rod shaped bacteria, these are present in pairs. Okay, these are present in pairs, these are referred as the diplobacillus. Okay, when the two rod shaped bacteria, these are present in pairs, these are called as the diplobacilli. Diplo means two. Okay, the two bacteria. Okay, these bacteria, these rod shaped bacteria, these are present in pairs. In that case, these are referred as the diplobacilli. Okay, when the number of bacilli, these are arranged side by side. Just in this photograph you can see these bacillus bacteria, these are arranged or these are attached with each other side by side. In that case, these are said to be the palisades. Okay, these are said to be the palisades. Okay. And here in this one, in the last photograph, you can see the number of rod shaped bacteria, bacillus bacteria, these are arranged side by side in the long chain. Okay, when the group of bacteria occurs in the long chain, it is referred as the streptobacilli. Strepto means straight line. Okay, when the group of bacilli bacteria occur in the long chain, it is said to be the streptobacilli. Okay, the example of the diplobacilli, it is the Corynebacterium diphtheria. Okay, the example of the diplobacilli is the Corynebacterium diphtheria, while the example of the streptobacilli, it is the Bacillus tuberculosis. Okay, Bacillus tuberculosis. That means this bacteria, it is responsible for the tuberculosis in the human being. Okay, that is the example of the bacilli, Bacillus tuberculosis. Okay, the group of bacteria when occur in the long chain, it is said to be the streptobacillus. Okay, these are the different types of the bacillus or the rod shaped bacteria. Okay, then the second morphological form, it is the coccus, or it is said to be the spherical type of the bacteria. Okay, these are spherical or the ellipsoidal. Okay, in this photograph you can see these are spherical or these are ellipsoidal. Okay, this type of the bacteria measures about 0.5 to 2.25 micrometer in diameter. Okay, generally the bacillus or the rod shaped bacteria, these are larger in size when compared with the coccus or the spherical bacteria. Okay, remember that bacillus or the rod shaped bacteria, these are larger in size than that of the coccus or the spherical bacteria. Okay, these spherical bacteria measures about average 0.5 to 2.25 micrometer in diameter. Okay, and the coccus or the spherical bacteria, these are always non-motile. These are always non-motile. Okay, just we have discussed the bacillus or the rod shaped bacteria. They may be motile or they may be the non-motile. That means in some of the rod shaped bacteria the flagella may be present, while in some of the rod shaped bacteria the flagella may be absent. Okay, but here in the coccus or the spherical bacteria the flagella is entirely absent. Okay, the coccus or the spherical bacteria, these are completely devoid of flagella, and that's why these are atrichous. Atrichous means these are completely lacking the flagella, and that's why these are non-motile. They cannot move from one place to the another place. Okay, then generally these coccus or the spherical bacteria, these often occurs in the chains. Okay. Here you can see these cocci or the spherical bacteria, these are arranged in a chain, or these are present in the clusters of the variable sizes and the shape. Here you can see the long chain of the spherical bacteria, while in this one you can see these are present in clusters of the variable sizes and the shapes. Okay, and depending upon the basis of arrangement and the number of cells in the cluster, these are classified into the six groups. Okay, depending upon the basis of and the number of cells in the cluster, these are again classified into the six morphological groups. Okay, the first one here you can see the micrococci. Okay, here simply written the coccus or the single bacteria, and we can refer it as a micrococci. Micrococci means what? Micrococci means when the Coccus bacterial or the spherical bacteria occurs singly, then it is said to be the micrococci. Okay, number one, micrococci. When the cocci or the spherical bacteria occurs singly, it is referred as the micrococci. Then the second one here you can see the diplococci. Diplo means two. When when the spherical bacteria, these are present in pairs, they occur in pairs, then it is referred as the diplococci. Okay. Example of the coccus bacteria is the Micrococcus cryophilus. Okay, the example of the coccus bacteria, it is the Micrococcus cryophilus. And diplococci here, when the two spherical or the cocci bacteria occurs in pairs, it as the diplococci. Okay, the example of the diplococci is the Diplococcus pneumoniae. Okay, the example the diplococci is the Diplococcus pneumoniae. Okay, Diplococcus pneumoniae, which is responsible for the pneumonia. Okay, Diplococcus pneumoniae, it is the example of the diplococci. Then the another one here you can see the number of cocci or the spherical bacteria, these are present in a long chain. Okay, when the large number of the cocci or the spherical bacteria, these are present in a long chain, then these type of the bacteria, these are referred as the streptococci. These as the streptococci. Okay, and the example of the streptococci is streptococcus lactis. Okay, of the streptococci is the streptococcus lactis. Okay, strepto in a long chain. Okay, when the cocci or the spherical bacteria, these are present in a long chain, then it is referred as the streptococci. And the example of the streptococci is streptococcus lactis. Okay, then here in this one you can see the spherical bacteria, the these are present in four numbers, or these group of four coccus or the spherical bacteria, here you can see it is referred as the tetracocci. Okay, when these are present when the cocci or the spherical bacteria, these are present in the group of 4 cells, then it is referred as the tetracocci. Here simply the tetrad is written, but generally it is referred as the tetracocci. Tetra means 4. Okay, when the cocci or the spherical bacteria, these are present in the group of 4 cells, then it is referred as the tetracocci. Okay, tetracocci, the example of the tetracocci, it is the Pediococcus cerevisiae. Okay, the example of the tetracocci, it is the Pediococcus cerevisiae. Pediococcus cerevisiae. Okay, then here you can see the another type, another group of coccus or the spherical bacteria. Okay, where whenever there is whenever the cocci, large number of the cocci or the spherical bacteria are present, and these are forming the irregular shape. Okay, or in other words we can say the irregular group of large number of the cocci or the spherical bacteria, it is referred as the staphylococci. Okay, it is referred as the staphylococci. Okay, irregular group of large number of the cocci or the spherical bacteria, it is referred as the staphylococci. Okay, and here the example of the staphylococci, it is the staphylococcus albus. Okay, staphylococcus albus, and the another example is the staphylococcus aureus. Okay, staphylococcus aureus. Okay, that is the another group of the coccus or the spherical bacteria. And the last one, it is the sarcina. Okay, sarcina means whenever the spherical bacteria divides in the 3 planes in the regular pattern, producing the cuboidal arrangement of the cell. Okay, I am repeating this one. When the spherical or the cocci bacteria divide in three planes in regular pattern, producing the cuboidal arrangement of the cells, then it is referred as the sarcina. Okay, cuboidal arrangement of the bacterial cells, it is said to be the sarcina. The example of this one is the sarcini lutea. Okay, the example of these bacteria, it is Sarcini lutea and the Sarcini verticuli. Okay, Sarcini verticuli. These are the different types of the spherical or the coccus bacteria. Okay, here micrococcus means whenever it occurs singly, it is said to be the micrococci. Whenever these bacterial cells occurs in pairs, these are said to be the diplococci. When these are present in long chain, it is said to be the streptococci. Whenever the 4 bacterial cells are present, and it is referred as the tetracocci. When these cells are present in a large number of the cells are present forming the irregular shape of group, then it is said to be the staphylococci. And when these are present in the cuboidal arrangement, it is said to be the sarcina. Okay, these are the different groups of the coccus or the spherical bacteria. Okay, that is all about the coccus or the spherical bacteria. Then the next one is the spiral or the helical bacteria. Spiral or helical bacteria, these are slightly larger and elongated spiral rods. Okay, when these are compared with the bacillus and the cocci bacteria, these are slightly larger and these are elongated spiral rods. Okay, here in this photograph you can see these are forming the different helix or the spiral, and that's why these are also referred as the helical bacteria. Okay, these bacteria, these are slightly larger and elongated spiral rods. Okay, then the regarding the size of the spiral or the helical bacteria, these are about 1.5 micrometer in diameter and up to 15 micrometer in length. Okay, these are about 1.5 micrometer in diameter and up to the 15 micrometer in the length. Okay, these bacteria may have one or more flagella at each pole. Okay, in this photograph you can see at each pole these are having large number of the flagella. Okay, there may be the single flagella present at each pole, or they may have the large number of the flagella at each pole. Okay, that means the spiral or the helical bacteria are motile. Okay, spiral or the helical bacteria are motile. Okay, then these spiral or the helical bacteria, they occurs singly or in small groups of the chain. Spiral or the helical bacteria, they occur singly or in small groups of the chain. Okay, and the example of the spiral or the helical bacteria is Spirillus pollutans. Okay, Spirillus pollutans or the Spirillus minus. Okay, these are the example of the spherical or the helical bacteria. Okay, then beside these three morphological forms, there are also the certain types of the shapes in the bacteria. Okay, these are the vibrios, then second one is the filamentous, and third one is the pleomorphic. Okay, three principal morphological forms are bacillus or rod shaped bacteria, then cocci or the spherical bacteria, and third one is the spiral or the helical bacteria. But apart from these three principal morphological group, there are also another shapes of the bacteria, and these are vibrios, filamentous, and pleomorphic. First of all, what is mean by the vibrios type of the bacteria or the vibrios morphological form of the bacteria? These vibrios type of bacteria, these are slightly larger curved rods of the half turn. Okay, here you can see these are the slightly larger half curved rods of half turn. Okay, and that's why they appear, that's why these bacteria appears as a sign of a comma. Okay, as these are appearing as a sign of comma, these are also referred as the comma bacteria. Okay, these are slightly larger bacteria and these are curved rods of the half turn, and that's why they appear as a sign of a comma, and therefore these are commonly called as the comma bacteria. Okay, then these comma bacteria or the vibrios type of bacteria, these are having single flagellum at its tip. Okay, here the flagella not appear, but generally in the comma bacteria the single flagellum is present at its tip. Okay, and the example of the vibrios or the vibrios or the comma bacteria is the vibrios cholerae. Okay, vibrios cholerae, which is responsible for the cholera. Okay, the example of the vibrios bacteria, it is the vibrio cholerae. Okay, it is the photograph of vibrio cholerae which is responsible for the cholera. Okay, vibrios, this is all about the vibrios or the comma shaped bacteria. Okay, then some of the bacteria, these are filamentous. Okay, in this photograph you can see the filamentous type of the bacteria, and the example of the filamentous type of the bacteria is the thiothrix. Okay, thiothrix, these are the filamentous type of the bacteria. And the third one, some of the bacteria are pleomorphic. Okay, pleomorphic bacteria means what? These are type of the bacteria, these are capable of changing their shape and the size temporarily in response to the changes in the surrounding environmental condition. Okay, these bacteria, pleomorphic bacteria means what? These bacteria are capable of changing their shape and the size temporarily in response to the changing in the surrounding environmental condition. Okay, that means the single bacterium can occur in more than one shape in its life cycle. Okay, as these are capable of changing their shape and the size to the surrounding environmental conditions, the single bacterium can occur in more than one shape in its life cycle. Okay, MCQ. In the MCQ, it may be asked as the bacteria which are capable of changing their shape and the size are called as, and objectives will be rod shaped bacteria, then cocci shaped bacteria, third one is the spiral bacteria, and the fourth one is the pleomorphic. Okay, pleomorphic type of the bacteria are those bacteria which are capable of changing their shape and size temporarily in response to the changes in the surrounding environmental conditions. And single bacterium can occur in more than one shape in its life cycle. Okay, and the example is the acetobacter. The example of the pleomorphic bacteria is the acetobacter. Okay, that is all about the classification of bacteria depending upon their shape. Okay, the question may be asked as a short note: classification of bacteria depending upon their shape. Okay, there are three principal morphological groups of the bacteria depending upon their shape. The first one is the bacillus or the rod shaped bacteria, the second one is the cocci or the spherical bacteria, then third one is the spiral or the helical bacteria. And apart from these three most common type of the morphological forms, the other shapes of the bacteria are: the first one is the Vibrios, and due to their shape, these are also referred as the comma bacteria. Then second one is the filamentous bacteria, and the third one is the pleomorphic bacteria, which can change their shape and the size in response to the changing environmental conditions. Okay, that is all about the morphological forms of the bacteria. Okay, now we are moving towards the another part, another topic of in the bacteria. It is the ultrastructure of the bacteria. Ultrastructure of the bacteria. In the theory examination, the short note or even the long answer question may be asked on the ultrastructure of the bacteria. Okay, it may be asked as: give an detailed account on the ultrastructure of the bacteria. Okay, I am repeating this one: give an detailed account on the ultrastructure of the bacteria. Okay, bacterial cells, as we have discussed, these are microscopic, these are very small sized, and that's why the detailed study of the bacterial cell, it is not possible under the conventional light microscope. Okay, the detailed study of the bacteria, it is not possible under the conventional light microscope. And to study the cytological details of the bacterial cell, it is important to observe the bacterial cell under the electron microscope using some specific staining techniques. Okay, bacterial cells, these are ultra microscopic, they cannot, the cytological details cannot be observed, cannot be studied under the conventional light microscope, and these cytological details can be studied based under the electron microscope, which is having very high resolution and by using certain staining technique. Okay, here in the photograph you can see the bacteria, the bacterial cell, it is a typical prokaryotic structure. Typical prokaryotic structure. Pro means primitive and the karyon means the nucleus. Here you can see the genetic material, it is not well protected within the nucleus. That means there is a complete absence of the well developed nucleus. It is having the nuclear membrane. In the nuclear membrane there is a presence of the nuclear pore, then there is a presence of the nucleolus. Okay, but here you can see that the nuclear membrane is absent, nuclear pores are not present, nucleolus is absent. That's why the bacterial cell, it is said to be the typical prokaryotic structure. Okay, and the bacterial cell, it is enclosed by the three layers. Okay, here you can see it is enclosed by the three layers. The outermost layer, you can see here, the outermost blue colored layer, it is called as the capsule. It is called as the capsule. Then below this capsule, here you can see the another layer which is called as the cell wall. And just below the cell wall, here you can see the another membrane which is present, or another layer which is present, and that is called as the plasma membrane. Okay, we are discussing the ultrastructure of the bacteria. The bacterial cell, it is a typical prokaryotic cell which is enclosed by the three layers. Okay, here you can see the blue colored layer, it is called as the capsule. Then below the capsule, here it is called as the cell wall, and just below the cell wall is present the plasma membrane. The plasma membrane, it is also referred as the cytoplasmic membrane. Okay, in some of the book you can find that the plasma membrane, it is referred as the cytoplasmic membrane. Okay, that is all about the today's lecture.